everybody. Welcome back to the show. Yay!
Surprise, surprise.
I need to insert an audience. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can do that.
Nice.
Today we are reviewing I think a lot of queer people know about this movie, but I'm not sure that people have really taken it seriously or looked under the hood to see that there are some serious topics in it. But today we're reviewing G.B.F, a coming of age story. It's a little bit of a coming out in the fact that Tanner has the boy, the central character, is already out to his friends. So it's just he's not big about. Actually, in some ways, to be honest with you, some ways he reminds me a little bit of how you described. You're like, he was into comics. He was, he was doing all the things that he just knew he had these feelings, but it wasn't a big focus of his life. And I think that's one of the things that this movie really does do. I think it does it really well. It actually shows the flavors of how queer people.
Finish the synopsis.
That the queer people know about their sexuality, or they figure it out around that time, but it's not all of who they are, And I think that one specific scene that we'll get to in a moment, where he's with the three, and they're all just plying him with stereotypes of gay kids and gay and queer gay boys, that he's just like, no, not so much.
So to finish the synopsis, he is dragged out of the closet by the high school's 3 social queens because they have decided from a magazine article they need a gay best friend, a G.B.F.
Actually, when you said that, I just suddenly thought this is a mashup between Mean Girls, a little bit of The Craft without the magic,
right?
And what would be the third thing? Because it's kind of a gay best friend movie too, between the 2 gay boys that are central to the story.
Correct. So yes, after they drag him out of the closet, wackiness ensues, and he has to figure out who he's going to be in this new world.
Right. Yeah, he's outed publicly by his best friend. Not directly. In fact, in a way, when you think about it, it's kind of funny that the way that it happens is through an app that both boys decide they're going to play around with to see.
No, his best friend says, "Let me put this on your phone because my phone won't support it."
Right.
And then the Gay Straight Alliance, looking for a gay person to drag into the Gay Straight Alliance, tracks him down using the app on one of their phones.
Yeah, all the girls that are looking for a gay boy to have in their life, the ones that run that GSA, they're the ones who all impersonate other gay boys.
Yep.
So they catfish him right out.
Yep.
The hottest new trend sweeping schools worldwide is the G.B.F. Pretty soon, all 3 prom queen frontrunners will be battling it out for my attention.
Three powerful cliques controlled North Gateway High, and the queen bitch from each ruled our school from nearly every direction.
We are so downloading Guidar.
What the hell is Guidar?
Where have you been? It's the new app that lets gay guys find other gay guys through state-of-the-art, globally positioned technology.
Great, I think we got all our bases covered. Let the manhunt begin!
Well, give me your phone now!
Oh my god, Brent, you're obsessed with that stupid app.
You don't understand. Soledad and her gaggle of junior hags are using Guidar to track gays at the school.
Oh my god, Slatsky took my phone in 3rd period. It's still signed on. I am not taking the fall for this.
It's coming from in here.
We are here to help.
Come on, guys.
What do you think you're doing?
Who do these hairless abs belong to?
The signal's coming from the front of the classroom.
You have 2 seconds to...
I'm right around Mr. Slatsky's desk.
Mr. Slatsky! Mr. Slatsky, you're married to a lady, and these are clearly not your abs. This is false advertising.
What are you talking about?
Wait! It's not Mr. Slatsky.
Tanner, I don't think...
This is your cell phone, correct?
Yeah, I'm gay, I guess.
Oh, we've got one. Our very own homosexual.
Oh, I get it. You're one of those straight guys who likes to flirt with gay guys for your own amusement.
No, Tanner, that's actually...
You know what? Contrary to what you might believe, we homos don't all sit around pining for straight boys, okay? Some of us like the idea of a guy actually being turned on by us.
Does this feel straight to you?
It does, actually. You Mormons are horny, repressed people!
You have no idea. So why don't you just sit back, relax, and let me get this out of my system.
I've got something to tell you both, and I don't care if you like it or not. So I'm not actually going to the prom with Fossa tomorrow. I mean, she's driving me, but I've got another date. A boy. I like boys. Well, I mean, not boys, like gross. Men. Like men my own age. And so did Abraham Lincoln. I read that somewhere. And he was like the best Republican ever. So you should probably say something before I keep saying more things.
Tanner, you know. So you're 100% completely allergic to the lady parts. That's fine. Who cares?
I could be bi.
Yeah, right. Of course you can.
So yeah, there are so many things I love about this movie. And you and I have talked offline that there are things that we thought they could have done something with that, but they didn't. There were things that they probably could have played with a little deeper. It is a comedy first and foremost, with some dramatic moments. And I think one of the things that on multiple viewings, because I have watched this many times, my granddaughter, I watched it for the first time with my granddaughter and some of her friends from school, because I thought it was a safe enough movie for them, and I was glad it was. And it was interesting because now that I've watched it on my own, I do see a lot of the other messages this movie does. And I kind of wish they had poked at some of the drama just a little bit more. It didn't have to be a lot, but I think one of the things it kind of strives to be is like 16 Candles for gay boys.
A little bit.
But the thing that John Hughes does so well is he does the comedy, and then he really gut punches you with the dramatic moments and the self-reflective moments that were a lot tighter, I think, than G.B.F. accomplishes. Don't you
Correct.
think?
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. And on the one hand, I think that would have defeated the purpose of G.B.F. Because it didn't want to be preachy. It didn't want to be teachy.
No, yeah, that's true. It didn't.
It wanted to deliver the message in a way that didn't hit you over the head with a big old hammer. It says, don't do this.
Yeah, it was doing the whole humor as instructor kind of thing. You'll get it through the laughs. But I also think that was part of its problem, because that was the venue. Then some of the message came to you really lightly. And it's not until you think about the movie that you go, wait a minute, there was something in that.
There was a thing there.
Yeah, they buried something in there, and it's actually quite poignant. And one of the sequences where that really plays out, and it's kind of a throwaway scene in many respects, is when they have the prom and the alt prom, and then you see a geeky boy going up to the alt prom, thinking, "Oh, I can belong here."
Support traditional prom-going values. Buy tickets to the official school-sanctioned prom.
Attend the prom by students for all students.
Can I have one, please?
Sorry, you're not on our list of approved students.
What?
This being an indie operation, we've got very limited space. But I'm sure Caprice's old-fashioned loser dance has plenty of tickets available. Thank you.
Hey, Hunty, ticket.
Fossa, what the hell was that?
Tan, if we want to pull off this whole gay-inclusive prom thing, we're gonna have to keep it kind of exclusive. Look, I didn't make up these rules, but a fugly prom is a failed prom.
So wrong.
And then having Fawcett, the beauty queen, alpha queen or queen bee of the
Queen bee,
that she won't have it because, you know, and so it's like you get that little subtext of, you know, and I like that Tanner picks up on that and goes, wait a minute, why are we turning people away? You know, as a queer kid, you feel very out of the mix, you know, with all of your fellow students. And yet, you know, at that moment, I think Tanner kind of threw off the gay boy thing and just went, wait a minute, I know that dude. That dude's got a, you know, he likes comics like I do. And he's, you know, you know what I mean? He could be my D&D, you know, friend, you know, or whatever. And I just think that in that moment, it's nuggets like that. They really kind of in the humor of it. And when the three queen bees of the hive that is this high school, when the three queen bees kind of do the stereotyping kind of thing and the things that garner their big queendoms and their different hives that they have got going on, I think that's when some of the message is lost because you get into that mean girl mode and it kind of pulls away at some of the stuff that could have been really kind of driven home. So yeah, I mean, I understand when you say, yeah, its purpose was not to be dramedy. Purpose was to be comedy with just a smidge of drama, a soupçon of drama sprinkled in, you know, kind of thing.
You've been watching Bake Off.
Oh, yeah. I, you know, when it finally came back on, sorry, this is a big sidebar, guys. When it finally came back on, it was like that comfortable blanket that 2020 needed so much. I could not believe how, like, I literally for that hour, I went, you know, I zenned out. Yeah. Shout out to G.B.F. Unbelievably so good. So good. If you're not a G.B.F. fan, or in the United States, Great British Baking Show. If you're not, if you're not a big fan, check it out. Trust me.
Yep, especially the new season.
Yeah.
Back to G.B.F. Since we're
G.B.F.
sticking with our acronyms.
Yeah, right.
So impressions.
Acronym show.
Impressions. What was one thing you disliked about it?
I wish they hadn't made Ivana Lynch's character quite so two-dimensional. I think there was a missed opportunity where she could have really presented not just the kind of mean girl thing, but, you know, she could have had some nuance, and I think that was a missed opportunity. I also think that
you should probably share which character she played.
Yeah, she played Mackenzie, you know, and it's weird because you have Shlee, which is the Mormon girl, and you know, her and Mackenzie actually do interact a bit, you know, as they should in the show. But it's like I like that the Mormon girl was played up, you know, when Shlee was Ashley, when she, you know, did her little, you know, what's a BJ, what's an RJ, what's a, you know, and she was doing all that
innocence.
Stuff. Yeah, the innocence and the non-cluelessness.
May I use the restroom? What are you doing?
Girl talk time. So, what do you think?
Think about what?
Topher. Do you think he's bored with our relationship? I feel like he's bored.
I don't know.
I'm worried because we don't, you know. So, I need some tips.
Tips?
You gays are supposed to be experts in man-pleasing, so spill. Do you think I should give him a BJ?
A what?
Or an HJ? Or how about an RJ?
I don't even know what an RJ could possibly be.
Ugh, me neither. I was hoping you would.
Are Mormons even allowed?
What about backdoor?
Oh my God.
Tanner, honey, please do not take the Lord's name in vain in my house.
Sorry. I actually did have to pee. Could we, talk later?
Fine. But you owe me girl talk time, mister, okay?
I like that aspect, and she played it, you know, pretty. I think even though it was still semi two-dimensional, I think she played it with a lot more nuance.
Yeah, there was heart. It was charming.
Yeah. So whereas Ivana Lynch's character Mackenzie was just
she was
face.
She was a Grinchy fundamentalist.
Yeah.
If you can be a fundamentalist Mormon.
Can't believe our godless peers read this blasphemy. They're trying to make sin seem in.
I don't know. Don't you ever think it'd be kind of neat to meet one? Like a real live gay?
What?
You know, we could bring him to youth group or take him out for milkshakes or something. And then if we're all super duper nice to him, maybe he'd realize that the only person he should be gay for is Jesus.
Ashley, you can't just befriend these people. They're out to steal our brothers, boyfriends, our gerbils. All as part of a secret agenda to spread their gabies all over America.
Oh, gay babies?
No, like gay rabies.
Bitch!
I don't know that she was Mormon. I just think she was.
Religion fundamentalist.
Yeah.
Unspecified.
She was a fundy. She was a fundy. But yeah, so yeah, those. I mean that those were the two things that. And I wish I had gotten to. I mean, this is just a big gay boy diva moment. I love Rebecca Gayheart. I just adore her, and I would who played Tanner's mother.
Okay. Stepmother, correct.
Hey, Tanner. How was school, honey?
Hey, Shanna, Dad, it was uneventful, lacking events. Why, you didn't hear anything, did you?
No, what would we have heard about, Tanner?
Nothing, of course, because of the whole nothing thing.
Well, honey, that's great. Are you hungry? Because I made my world-famous, homemade, gluten-free popsicles. They are delicious.
Oh, I hope you made them extra thick and fruity, just the way Tanner likes them.
What? Right. Thanks for freezing juice on a stick for me, Shannon, but I'm good.
Maybe you'll have one later.
Maybe I'll have one right now.
Ooh.
What flavor did you make?
Cherry.
Oh.
Right?
That I wish they had done something more, because I liked the banter between the parents. I just thought they could have played a little more with that. I mean, they gave, Megan Mullally's, the mother to, Brent. They gave Brent's mother time to have a little nuance, but didn't really, give Rebecca that kind of play. She was also very two-dimensional. Anyways, what did you think about it now that I've rambled on for like 12 years and pulled out my feather boa and did my gay boy thing?
Well, the thing we love about you is you tell the story about buying a watch with the invention of a sundial. So it didn't have universal appeal for me. That's the one thing that I think didn't draw me in and didn't make me love it, is that it was fairly California feeling.
Yes.
I've never lived there. It was very young. I'm old, Gandalf, though I don't look it.
You shall not pass. No.
Right? And it was, though I identified with the main character as a teenager with interests, it was not a high school experience that even remotely close to mine.
Right.
So
right.
I had a
but
very
I think it
hard...
was, but I think it probably was one you wish you could have done at, at that age. Not to the degree, but I'm saying that where it was a thing amongst your friends, but nobody really cared. And
it wasn't safe for anybody to know. My whole high school experience was me wanting to get out of high school.
Oh,
that's it.
Well, that's what mine was too. I did it as fast as I could. I totally get you there.
So on that note, I just didn't relate to the movie. I don't think it had the universal appeal unless you lived in one of the subsects that was covered.
Or if you watch a lot of shows that are based in California.
Right. Which, how many are? Almost all of them.
Well, they're based in California, but they're filmed in Vancouver.
Well, yeah, true. But all of the mentalities and the accents and everything get picked up and moved, so it feels like California. All right, so the other side of impressions. What did you love about it?
The two leads. They seemed like best friends. And even though I think they were in their late teens, early 20s when they filmed it, they both looked like they could be in high school. I mean, my husband has a big thing about why are those 40-year-olds carrying backpacks in that high school, and he's right. In a lot of respects, a lot of them are like that. They're cast that way. But You know, I think that's one of the things I do love is that the actors, for the most part, by and large, seemed like they would be in high school. Those worked. You know, I love the chemistry between the two lead boys. Real G.B.Fs, to be honest with you, that they are the G.B.F in the story. I think that, you know, with the queen hives, with the 3 queen bees that are in the school, I think that it didn't play as, you know, it played beautifully, but I think it wasn't as purposeful as G.B.F, gay best friend, as Brent and Tanner. I think they really worked. Their chemistry really did shine, and I like the fact that it was a buddy movie. I mean, they toyed with the, well, you're gay, I'm gay, you know, should we do this?
Do we?
Yeah. And then when it happens, or when they think it happens, they're totally freaked out about it. It's like they did it with their brother. You know what I mean? They just totally lose it. And then I just the other thing I absolutely loved is when Caprice would sneak in the Mormon references in sassy black girl voice.
Yep.
And I love the play that Ivana Lynch does get to throw out of it. You're my new SBF. And she's like, what? And she goes, sassy black friend. And Caprice's like, say what? Like, oh no, you didn't go there.
That's right.
And that's the other thing. I mean, the commoditization. And I think it's that the kids are driven with that, with all the influencers on YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff and TikTok. I think part of it is kids are trained much younger than we were about brand. And they kind of they build these little silos where we had the cliques when we were growing up, but these are really commoditized, almost to the point of like, well, what channel are you? You know, what's your genre? What you got going? You know, and I think that's the one thing that is different, definitely from my experience in high school and yours, is that I think kids are pressured much more to be socially conscious. And, you know, in a way that may be a good thing. That could be why they're so political too. I mean, kids are much more aware of things going on than we ever were. You know, I was just worried if my shirt was wrinkled when I got up and, you know, got dressed in the morning. You know, that was my big worry. You know, and whereas kids nowadays, you know, they've got to make sure they know where their pictures are, who has them, you know. So there's a lot of that's wrapped into their world now. You know, and I think G.B.F kind of showed that in a real way.
So the two things I liked, and there are two major things. Thing one, the messages are delivered. They're not hammered, but the messages, like you were just talking about, social media will affect your life for good or bad if you don't control it. Don't out someone. That's just wrong on every level. And be open to people surprising you, which leads to my other thing that I liked is the character growth of some of the secondary characters. Fawcett surprised the hell out of me. I wasn't expecting, and she was the blonde beauty queen bee of the triumvirate of queens.
Farrah Fawcett of the for our generation.
She had a character growth. She started out feeling very self-centered, and Tanner said some things to her. At one point, they were in a gym, and he made a comment about, you know, if you really cared about me, you wouldn't worry.
It wouldn't be about you, you know.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be about whether I'm wearing something that looks good with you. It would be about my rights. And she got that. She learned that lesson. So by the end, she was a real person. It was a growth to watch.
And she also grew enough to stand for your best friend and do, you know, so that I think was a thing she learned. Whereas I think before she had associations, not friends.
She did not have friends prior to that. And some of the other character growth too is pretty phenomenal. I mean, Tanner's growth, he has to figure out who the hell he is in this world.
Right. And I do like the fact that his date was a guy in college. And so that ageism already started to play between, you know, and he had to grapple with that, you know. And I like that his date, the English guy, no name English guy, that he actually is the one to say, you're not ready yet. I know where you are, and I thought that was I thought that was beautifully handled, you know. rather than him just getting like, oh, this is so fucked, I'm out of here, you know. Kind of.
Right. And then the other growth too is with the parents. I mean, Megan Mullally, as Brent's mom, had to evolve and let her son grow up.
And there's a beaumont in here. Make sure if you watch this movie to watch the credits.
Yes.
Because the
Yes.
outtakes and the little bits that they do during the credits are hilarious. They're really, really good.
Yep. But Tanner's parents were a nice surprise too.
Mhm.
And I'm only going to say that because it's very important.
Yes. Yes. And clearly they were, and I think that was the thing that was kind of, they were Republicans.
Right.
And Tanner even tries to use that as a coming out moment of like, well, Abraham Lincoln, blah, blah, blah. You know?
Mhm.
So I loved that they really showed that, it's like the whole thing with the GOP. It's not something important to them until it involves them. And then it becomes a thing for them,
Right.
Yeah.
Want to
So
rate it?
I give it 4 quills because part of it is sentimental because I enjoyed it with my granddaughter and her friends.
Mhm.
And so it was something generationally I got to share. And I told them what my high school life was like that was different. So we got to share that kind of thing. So I give it 4 quills.
I give it 3. It's a nice palate cleanser. It's light. You don't have to look deep into it. And in the world today, sometimes that's really nice. But only 3 because I didn't relate to it. And I didn't feel like you said I don't feel like they dug into enough of the character stuff.
Right. Yeah. I think it could have been equally as good if they had done a little bit more John Hughes kind of application to the script. It's not a bad script. It's not, it's got wonderful little zingers in there. It's got all the little quips gay boys love. So, it has that feeling of it. But I think they did miss an opportunity to really make some of those moments really poignant to
Correct.
Where it kind of drives home. And I think it would have served the queer community to have that poignancy that, that our lives are complete. We're not a 2-dimensional character. We're not a commodity, that kind of thing. And I think that it does a job at it, but I think there were some opportunities that were missed.
Right.
Brent's whole character, I think that's one of the opportunities that was missed. He got sidelined by Tanner and it became a Tanner focused story, which is fine because he's the lead, but I think there could have been a little bit more on Brent's side that we could see what his struggles were, because it's clearly he wants to be the one as the center of attention,
right,
and not be the sidekick. And yet, in many respects, that's the way in the film that he's treated. And side note, the actor Paul, who played him, actually had cancer just prior to making this film. He actually went through a battle of cancer on his own. And so he's a big activist, not only for queer rights and stuff like that, but he's also an activist about cancer research. So big shout out to him that, he's
awesome.
Doing the socially conscious thing as an actor and using his platform to promote that. As a fellow cancer survivor, I totally am down with him. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, okay, I give it 4, you give it 3. So we'll now put them in our Wrote Reviews Hall of Fame. I gotta come up
Hall of Fame.
I gotta come up with a theme for that.
Hall of Fame.
I don't know. Just our pegboard. I don't know.
Vault. I like Vault. I like
Vault. Okay, I'm good with that. The movie Vault.
Yep.
Okay, I'm good with that. So, I mean, our advice is if you want something light and with a little bit of message, this could be it for you. Especially if you have kids.
A teen in your life. Yep.
Yeah. This is perfect. This is if you're a queer teen and you're not sure how to play this out, that's one way that you can all watch something that's funny, lighthearted, but has a little bit of a message. And I think it definitely has its place in queerdom for saying this is one of the good ones. This is one of the ones that people should have in their library. I think over time might become a little bit dated, but because of it's so socially app focused,
it is,
and we all know those apps come and go. So, but I think that the core message is really quite a charming one, and I think it's in a way it's very uplifting. I even like the fact that in the end they toy with the whole thing of, if this were a movie, ... breaking fourth wall,
Yeah,
kind of thing, So yeah. All right. Well,
thanks everybody.
Thanks everybody for.
What are we watching next?
We are watching. Dun, dun, dun.
Because, and I say this because if you want to watch it as well and then come back and watch our review, you can yell at us if we didn't review it the way you would have.
Yeah, definitely comment, tell us what you liked about it, and or what you disagreed with, or what your feelings are, because we definitely want to know. And eventually at some point we will probably have a small little segment of each show where we talk about and we relate what you had to say about some of the reviews as a shout out, and let know that we're seeing what you're saying and we're responding to it. So
I'd like that, actually. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So remember to like, subscribe, and tell your friends.
What are we watching next?
Oh yeah, got to get back to that.
I asked you a question, man.
I know. Up next is, my computer's not running as fast as it should. It is Boys in the Band.
Ooh.
Old versus
and new.
new.
Battle of the Ages.
Bitchy queens, come out.
Yeah. Yay, mean people.
Yeah, I know. It's not something that you're looking forward to.
It's not.
Yeah. You got to know Vance is very, very positive thinker, very, very, and so things that are
mean people.
Bitchy, yeah, mean people. Yeah, not so much. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why you could stomach G.B.F. is because the girls
mean people weren't that mean.
And yeah, they were funny as well. They had a roundness to them. They weren't just a flat character. So.
Right.
Anyway, so remember to like, subscribe, tell your friends, vote. Remember to vote. Plan your vote.
Help someone else vote.
Yes. Wear a mask. Be kind to one another, truly.
Please.
And, stay safe. And we will see you next week.